Hello everybody and welcome to this very first commented War Thunder video of mine. I usually don't do War Thunder commentary for the simple reason that I don't see much point in it, because basically what I do is I get to altitude, find an enemy below me, dive on him, give him hell, zoom up again and rinse repeat as necessary. So there's not much point in commenting on that. But this round in particular was different from the others because it went downhill for my team very, very quickly. So I was forced to do some strategic thinking in order to stay alive. It didn't keep my team from losing this round anyways, but at least I was able to survive and not die a fiery death. Alright, so let's jump into the first dogfight and continue on from there. So, a few minutes into the flight, I have made my way towards the middle of the map. I'm being shot at by enemy AAA. I spotted a few contacts up ahead, including one that's currently turning in towards me, and I sure enough identify it as being a wildcat. And I don't think he spotted me, so I try to take a pot shot at him from the front, and sure enough he's now realized that I'm about. I climb up because I know I can't turn with a wildcat. In a 109 you shouldn't try to turn fight a wildcat. I've zoomed up, I've gained a height advantage, I'm diving on him to take another shot, but he spots my approach. I get a few more hits into him, but nothing critical, and I zoom up again in a spiral climb, which of course you should always try to do when fighting such a very agile opponent such as a wildcat. He's now trying to climb after me, but I'm confident that I actually have enough speed and altitude not to get hit by him. He actually takes a shot at me, doesn't hit, but he's now in a sitting duck, and I can actually rip off his wing with a well-aimed burst right there. So that's my very first kill of this particular round. There's another enemy just popped up. It's a P39. He's got quite some speed, but I decide to scissor with him because that's the only thing I can do at the current point in time. He's now diving for his life, and unfortunately what I did not realize at this point was that I still had combat flaps out, so I was wondering why he pulled away so easily from me, but that's just because I completely forgot about my flaps. So actually in theory I should have been able to stay on him, or actually even gain on him in my 109F1. But with the flaps out, creating a lot of drag, of course that's not going to happen. And there's another aircraft, which is an enemy, a P40E. So, I'm not sure if he's actually spotted me, but I do not decide to immediately engage him, because I don't know if the P39 saw that happening. So for the time being I decide to spiral climb back up, but I don't see the P39 anywhere around. Doesn't seem like he actually realized there was another friendly around, because otherwise I think he would have turned around and tried to engage me. The P40 unfortunately did not spot me. He's now flying the opposite way that I am. I turn around trying to spot him again because I just lost him. He's flying actually very, very close to the ground. He should be at my 1 o'clock at the small part of the city right here. And I'm going to spot him in a few seconds. Yeah, there he is. And he's going to pass underneath me. Unfortunately, I still have my combat flaps out, which I don't realize in dive, and you'll see what happens. So, trying to get into a good angle for my dive. He's flying straight. give him a shot, he's burning, and there it happens. I just so managed to rip off my flaps and I finally realized my mistake. So yeah, that was not the most clever thing to do. So from here on out, of course, I wasn't really combat ready anymore. I had to go back to base and refuel, rearm. So up in the air again, and having made my way towards the front lines again, I spot some contacts in the distance, just underneath cloud level, and I want to get into the fight, but I instead focus on a friendly 190 that's currently trying to shoot down a P-39, but it's being attacked itself by a US captured premium Ki-43. So I try to come to the help of the Focke-Wulf 190, which almost is my undoing, which you're about to see why exactly that is. So the Focke-Wulf 190 unfortunately did not manage to shoot down the P-39, but instead got itself shot down by the Ki-43. The P-39 has turned around, trying to help the Ki-43, and at this point I realize I'm up against two fighters now, and I decide that it's best to try and run for dear life, because I can't turn fight both of them. I could turn fight the P-39, but the Ki-43 is just going to eat me for breakfast if I try to turn. So I decide to try and jink the P-39. There I see the Ki-43 coming in, and I realize, nope, this isn't going to end well if I continue to turn fight. So I straight out, I try to get up as much speed as I can, and I just hope I can outrun the P-39, or at least keep it out of effective guns range for long enough a time to turn this into a one-on-one. So I slam the throttle forward, I dive into this like small river bed, and I try to be as evasive as I can without losing too much speed, because obviously you want to try and build up speed, but at the same time you have to expect people to take long-range shots, which you just witnessed there. I actually took a hit, but I think it was just machine guns, so nothing too tragic. And I think at this point that the P-39 is all on its own, and this is why I try to turn into him. I go into scissors, trying to make him overshoot. Fortunately he misses there. I roll into him, and yeah, I took a little hit there, but he's now pretty much done for. I can easily outturn the P-39 in my 109F, which I just do there, and I think he realizes what situation he's in, and he's going to curse his life in a second, so I get in a good snapshot, set him on fire, and that's it for him. So another killer for me. So after this nerve-wracking dogfight, I decided to land again to rearm and refuel, and it was a this point that I realized was the only guy left on my team, and I was up against 6 enemies. And yeah, that's not too pleasant a prospect. So back up again, I decide I'm not going to give the enemy an easy kill. I'm going to do a couple of things that help to overcome the numerical disadvantage. First of all, I decide not to fly too far from my own base, because I have AAA support there, which is first of all going to indicate any enemy presence. As you can see here, AAA starts up, so there's definitely some kind of enemy aircraft around, which is why I decide to play it safe and climb into the clouds, which are going to hide my aircraft from the enemy. So here you can see the enemy Ki-43. He was actually pretty much the most dangerous pilot on the enemy team, because he definitely knew what he was doing, and I really played a game of cat and mouse with that guy. As said, for the rest of this match I just stuck to my own airfield under the protection of the clouds and the AAA, because I didn't want to give the enemy team a free kill, because if I really went out on my own searching for the enemy, they would have coordinated and taken me down in a team effort. I can't possibly shoot down all 6 of them, so I didn't even try to do that. Yeah, so there is just one more kill that I managed to do before eventually the enemies started clearing out the ground targets and winning the match that way. So, staying in the vicinity of the airfield just at the edge of the clouds, I tried to spot enemy aircraft, because I was assuming that the enemy team would be having a look at the airfield in order to see whether or not I was on the ground in order to strafe me. So I spot some AAA and I dive below cloud cover to investigate. And I think you can see a couple of bursts. No contacts yet. There's more AAA off to my right, and here there's a contact. And I go after him. Turns out to be an enemy P-40, and he's completely oblivious to what is going to happen to him. But of course, keep in mind we have that Ki-43 pilot still around, and he knows what he's doing. He's going to see the AAA, and he's going to see my tracers as well. So I sneak in behind the P-40, and he has absolutely no clue what's about to happen. So I give him a good burst, I crit him, and he's stalling out. He's eventually going to crash, but my spider sensors are tingling, and sure enough, in a few seconds, there you can see the purple wingtip smoke. That's the Ki-43. And he's seen us, he's trying to go after us, he's taking a few shots, it doesn't hit, fortunately. And I managed to get away from him just in time. Of course, as said, the enemy team still wins this round, because eventually one of theirs in a bomber manages to take out enough of our ground targets to win the round. So even with this round being a defeat for my team, we still had some very nice dogfights, and I hope you guys learned something new, not only in terms of deflection shooting, but also in terms of strategic thinking. So, well, there's nothing left for me to say other than I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.